we acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we record this podcast.
Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Green Girls.
Hello.
Today, we are going to be talking about food waste, why it is a problem, and how to avoid it. Avoid it.
Avoid it.
No, I can't English. So I thought we should start off with some statistics, just so you can kind of gauge what's going on. We've got some worldwide statistics and also some Australian-based ones.
Oh, brilliant.
So I'll start off here. Now, it might be a bit too much to say, so just tell me if you had enough.
Okay, this is all on me because they can't.
Yes, they cannot,
talk.
So we've got to trust you.
Okay.
So first of all, 1/3 of the world's food is wasted.
Well, fuck.
Yeah. 25% of water used in agriculture is used to grow food that is wasted.
Oh, great. Okay.
So we're starting off real good here. Some of
We
these
really
are
are.
a bit depressing.
Uh-huh.
And the worst thing about this too is that considering there's so much food wastage, there's still 660 million people around the world that will face hunger.
Yeah, that's so devastating.
It's definitely kind of put it into perspective for me for researching all of this, that we've got to do something about it, and on every level. So, you know, in the production stage, in like the growing stage, in the selling, and also in just our household. So
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. It does not add up that there's so much waste when, like you say, there are so many people in need that
That's exactly
are going
right.
hungry.
So, yeah, although there is enough food for everyone, it's still 1 in 9 people that go to bed on an empty stomach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty depressing. But that's just a couple of worldwide statistics. I'm going to focus mainly on Australia just because that's where we are, and I thought it was quite interesting.
Awesome. Yeah.
So if you're a financial kind of gal or guy, these might be interesting for you. So food waste actually costs the economy around 36.6 billion each year.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's a lot.
Wow. What's that from?
So this is from the National Food Waste Strategy Feasibility Study, and that is a mouthful, but I have the link for it.
Cool.
I've got all of these links here and a couple of really interesting articles as well on, which I'll touch on later, on how there are some very smart and cool people out there that are tackling this issue. So we've got all the sources. I
Awesome.
haven't labeled them like a university student. I just kind of plonked them in at the end there. But
So you don't do a full bibliography whenever you do your research? It's not Times New Roman 12 point?
no, I just kind of copy and paste all the links and whack them at the bottom of a document.
Wow.
I did have
Wow.
originally them in between all the statistics, but then I was like, no, it's not visually pleasing.
Nah.
None of that.
Bye.
Bye-bye. But
Sorry,
yes.
guys. We need aesthetic statistics.
We do.
Thank you.
We do. That's correct. So, again, if you are into figures and money, there is a $2,000 or $2,500 waste per household per year on discarded food. So that actually equates to 1 in 5 bags of groceries.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What the heck?
And with how expensive groceries are right now,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be even bigger.
Exactly right. Yeah, so that statistics is actually from 2018, 2019. So
Okay.
it's probably even higher now.
Yeah, probably. I saw somewhere, you might cover this, whoopsie if you do, but the average size of a plate has increased in size. It's like
Ooh.
36% larger now.
That's crazy.
And there's like some psychological thing about like we like white space, like blank space in houses, in apartments, that sort of thing, in work, but in a
But not on
fridge and
plates.
on our plate, white space seems to be the enemy. And so we just fill the fridge, fill the
Fill it.
plate. And there's all sorts
Yeah.
of psychology around like we buy more to fill the space and we eat more because we want that full plate.
Yeah, wow. That's a whole nother episode on its own, just into the psychology of why
Sorry, I'll just...
we eat what we eat. Yeah. It's crazy. I didn't see that statistic, but I did find one about like eating out and in the restaurant industry.
Oh, yeah.
So it's actually, and on average, people leave 21% of the meal uneaten. And that's because of the ridiculous portions of food being served.
Yeah.
So BYO container, don't be afraid to ask.
Oh, yeah.
Just pop it in your bag and, take it home. You paid for it. I mean, obviously there's probably some foods that you might not be able to take, but I just think the sizing of foods at restaurants is ridiculous.
Yeah, it can be huge. Like, what if there's just nothing snack size that you want?
Yeah.
Or it's like a ridiculous price for something that's small. So you're like, screw this. I'm going to get my money's worth on something bigger.
Yeah.
But you know you can't eat it. So yes, I agree.
Big waste.
Bring a container all the time.
Yes, definitely.
Even if you don't think you're going to eat, you might.
Yeah, that's right. Just keep a little, even like those little collapsible ones would be a good idea. Those
yes, I think I need to get one of them. I've got my little collapsible cup.
Yeah, just keep it flat in your bag and then surprise food, take it home.
All right, have you got some more stats that will make me regret asking?
So many more. I'm gonna save all of these here and I'm just gonna quickly skim my eye over them and choose a few that I think are like, what? So this one, for example, Australia uses around 2,600 gigalitres. I'm like, what even is that number of water to grow food that is wasted? So to put that into perspective, that's equivalent of the volume of water in 5 Sydney harbours.
Huh. I look, listen, I wish that did put it into perspective. I've got no idea how big Sydney Harbour is.
Huge.
Okay. Huge. Real big.
Yeah, and it's just unfathomable like how much waste is even just in the production and like transport side of things.
Yeah.
So even like the amount of land that is used to grow wasted food. Do you want to have a guess at what amount that is? You're not going to guess. You're not going to be able to. I would have zero clue.
Are we measuring in Sydney harbours again?
No, we can measure in states. So guess which state in Australia is the amount of land that's used to grow wasted food on?
It's not going to be Tasmania, is it?
It's not Tasmania, no.
Okay.
You're close in geographical location.
Victoria?
It is Victoria. Wow. It's larger than the state of Victoria. What?
Wow.
Just on the wasted food.
No, that's so much land.
So much land.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How are we feeding out anyone if we're wasting that much? That's
what
bonkers.
I think. That's what I don't understand. The more I look into this, the more I was like gobsmacked. So even, I'm going to hit you with another one. 20 to 40% of fruits and veggies are rejected before they even reach the shelves.
Great.
Do you want to guess why?
Cool. Because they're not aesthetic.
Exactly right. So there's actually some very strict standards on how our food should be. So the regulations on it is just ridiculous. You might have seen in like Woolies and stuff now, they have like the Odd Bunch.
Yeah, that looks really good.
I think that is a great initiative because I've got a very good quote here, actually. Let me scroll down and find this beautiful italics quote, which I kind of had a bit of a giggle at, but it was also making me sad.
Cool.
So from one of the articles, which I will talk about later, someone says, we're dealing with photoshopped tomatoes like we deal with photoshopped people in magazines. Why do we need to eat pretty food?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, what is it? I feel like it was something like ice cream or shaving foam, like to make things look perfect, they would use things that are
in
not
food advertising.
The things. Yeah. Like a plastic
I can tell you so many
burger.
stories. My grandpa was actually a photographer and he worked at a advertising agency when my mum was younger, and she used to assist him with some of the stuff. And there was one they did on dog food. And I can't remember how many cans of dog food that they went through to compile it together to make one for the photo. It's crazy.
What?
Yeah.
Because the food wasn't photogenic enough?
No. Well, yeah, they pulled all the dog food apart and like bitsed it back together to make it look good for the photo.
Wow.
And that's what a lot of them do. Like, I mean, for example, you look at a burger on a menu and you go,
Yeah.
yes, this looks so good, and you get it and it's just like sad and floppy. Or
Yes.
it's supposed to have like
Yes.
tomato slices all the way around and it's got like one tomato slice hidden in the middle.
Yeah, I cannot tell you how many holidays I went on, I guess like France and Greece, that sort of thing, being from the UK. And like all of the like budget friendly restaurants just had photos from anywhere. Like you knew that was not
That
their
was not
club
what you were getting.
sandwich. It was just a club sandwich that existed like 5 years ago. And like all of the shops, all the cafes had the same club sandwich picture. Like, what? Yeah, you just could not tell what you were getting. But
No,
like, yeah,
that's right.
It's the product. It looks good.
So we I don't know why we're so, you know, this carrot must be straight or this tomato must be perfectly round. Like, who cares? It's going to taste the same.
It's that saying, isn't it? We eat with our eyes.
Yeah, definitely.
We think we can eat more and we want it to look good.
I mean, of course, if you're looking at an apple and you've got like a nice shiny apple that is like a consistent size and shape, and then you look at one that's like a bit wonky and maybe has a couple like grazes on it, of course you're going to think, oh yes, I want the shiny one.
Yeah, I've definitely been guilty of leaving the bruised fruit. I guess I feel like it's going to taste weird.
Yeah.
That bit will taste weird. But then there's things like capsicum, which I know I'm going to chop up like it's going to be in a sauce, and I should not care at all what it looks like.
Yeah, I feel like those ugly veggies and stuff, if you're going to cook it into something, doesn't matter. Just it'll turn to mush.
Yes.
Turn to tasty
precisely.
mush.
I'm very impressed to see, this should maybe be in the like tip section at the end, but I'm really happy to see there are like the Ugly Bunch and there are food boxes you can get these days that save food waste.
Yeah, there's actually a greengrocer. I want to say they have a store in Elwood in Victoria and somewhere else kind of local where they buy a lot of those foods and fruits and veggies and stuff that don't look great. And he basically said that, you know, your customers have to trust you because, of course, they're going to see these things and think that's not going to be tasty. But if this store has a good reputation and they've got a good trust base with their customers, then they can sell those fruits and veggies that look a little bit different.
Oh, so that's interesting to hear.
Yes, I'm definitely going to link that article. It's quite a good read.
So people still have to go in and pick from what's there. It's not like you get what you're given.
No, so it's still like a greengrocer. You can go in and you can pick like 5 apples or, you know, 2 tomatoes or whatever. But it is straight from the farms for most of the food that's rejected from the big supermarkets. It's pretty sad the more you look into it. And, you know, I think a lot of people have that one sad, like, fruit, like pears. Pears are very particular. Or avocados, you know. You're waiting for it to go, and then it sits on your bench and you kind of look at it and you're like, it might be a bit too far gone now. Oh, I'll leave it out there so I can see it and then I'll use it. And then 2 days later, you're like,
and then
shit.
Uh-oh.
It's gone, can't use it. Or, you know, it starts to melt onto the counter.
What?
Well, like, say, for example, you have a fruit bowl, right? Everyone has a fruit bowl. No?
Mine's mainly bananas and avocados.
Oh, there you go. So you've got a nectarine or like a peach or something, and you got your fruit bowl stacked up. Sometimes every now and then you might get one from the supermarket that's like a little bit sad.
Yeah.
And because it's at the bottom, you don't realize it's gone bad. And then it starts to just ooze, and then it sticks to everything.
I think I have kept a cucumber in the fridge for so long that it like took on a liquid state.
There you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it absolutely did. I'm really happy that it was already in like a container.
Yeah, they're not nice to clean up. But
yeah, no.
It's like snot.
Yeah, big shame on me. Just
But
and
it
I'm sure I'm
happens.
the one that bought the cucumber because Tarek is not like he just thinks it's like water in vegetable
That's
form.
the thing
so.
too. You're like, you know, you have such great intentions, and then when you have too much choice, you forget about things, and then it's too late.
Yeah, we've flowed quite nicely into like why waste is even happening, because it is absurd that waste is even happening. No one wants to waste food. How did we get
you've
here?
paid for it.
And you know the bizarre thing, one of the 4 stats that I looked up, and this is a US one, but it's basically a wonderful infographic. I'll link it to everyone. And it shows food waste by each stage. And so like 16% of the waste happens at farm level, 2% happens at the manufacturing level, 18% happens at restaurants, 13% happens at a grocery/distribution stage, like at the supermarkets. 43% of the waste happens in our own homes. Yeah. It's us doing the most damage. That's the bad news. The good news is that means we can change it.
That is spot on. Spot on.
It's positive.
Yay. Funny that you say that. That was a US stat, because I found as well that households in Australia are the biggest producer of food waste, and the second biggest is the production stage.
Oh, wow.
So I guess we're not so different.
Oh, yeah, no. Another really fun one was, I'm trying to read my own stats. If food waste was its own country, it would be the third highest in like producing emissions in the world. So it would be China and America would be above it, and then food waste as a country would be like the highest emitter.
On earth? What on earth?
Just the waste, not even like making the food. It's outrageous. I can't believe
crazy. Oh, I have a figure here for you for the households in Australia. 2.46 million tonnes we contribute from households.
Yikes. And that's going to landfill. I can't even
fathom the numbers, honestly. Like, I know they're big numbers, but just what?
No, yeah, I think I had something measured in like gigatons. And like, you're joking, what's a gigaton?
Yeah, I know.
You just introduced giga to me.
Yeah, giga is huge.
It's so many Sydney Harbours, I can't even deal.
Yeah. Well, for those of you in Australia and who know, I guess, sort of like the basic areas, in Victoria, you know, the MCG. So Australia's food waste would fill the MCG 10 times each year. Or it would fill semi-trailers stretching from Perth to Sydney.
Wow.
Perth to Sydney. Huh. That is so far.
Cool. Great. Australia's a big place. They are not close.
No, they're not close at all.
That's not close at all.
Nope.
In case anyone foreign is listening, MCG is Melbourne
Cricket
Football Ground? Wait, which one did you say?
MCG. I don't know. I just know it as MCG.
No, you're right. Like,
big stadium.
Honestly, on the train when I first saw Marvel Stadium, I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Superhero Stadium. No,
I just rebranded.
It's just where they play regular sport.
Yeah.
Anyways.
We like to think we're cool in No,
it's just got a picture of Iron Man on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, did Marvel pay for this whole stadium? I don't understand.
I don't know. It's very odd.
I'm sure it's fun for the kids. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I have so many more stats here that we could go through, but I'm thinking maybe we save them for a little carousel on Instagram, some extra additional facts, because otherwise we're going to be here forever.
Yeah, no, I think we've got the gist of it, and I want to go on a bit of a positive rant for a little bit. Yes, listen, we're going to go on a little roller coaster here, but it all begins with Project Drawdown. I know I've spoken about it a little bit to you before, but Project Drawdown is one of those things that gives me so much hope. I went through a stage in my life where I began the day like listening to a TED Talk or something on YouTube. And one of the days there was a speaker from Project Drawdown, and it was the first thing that basically gave me real hope, like not misguided, blind hope that we could actually make a change. And so I'll read you the basic idea of what Project Drawdown is.
Hit me.
And so it says, Project Drawdown conducts ongoing reviews and analysis of practices and technologies that are able to reduce greenhouse gas concentrations in Earth's atmosphere. And also they must be 1, currently available, 2, growing in scale, 3, financially viable, 4, able to have a net positive impact, and 5, quantifiable under different scenarios. Our work shows the world can reach drawdown by mid-century if we make the best use of all existing climate solutions. Certainly, more solutions are needed and emerging, but there is no reason or time to wait. Now is better than new, and society is well equipped for transformation today. And I was just like, wow. And so that the idea is to draw down on emissions, get to zero.
Well, and I mean, it shows that it does make a difference.
Yeah, and there's literally this detailed list Everyone needs to look at it. It's incredible. It's a very simple list, I think, of the 100 top ways that we can decrease our emissions.
Cool.
And you know what's number one?
What? Food waste.
Food waste. Reducing food waste. Yeah.
How did I know?
I don't... Why did I bring this up?
Oh, my goodness. It all makes sense.
I know. Oh, we've come all the way around. And yeah,
That's crazy.
This is where I heard about gigatons. So if we reduce food waste, their measurements, they're going between 2020 and 2050. If we reduce our food waste by just 50%, we will reduce 88 gigatons, whatever that means, of CO2 emissions. And that boggles me. But so LED lighting, like swapping to LED lighting, is lower on this list. That will only save 15 gigatons.
Right. What was your first figure? 22, did you say?
88.
Oh, what the hell? I promise I'm listening.
This is a different podcast.
But do you know what's funny about that, though? Like, there's government initiatives of people, like, we've had all of our globes changed to LEDs.
I get called up daily at work, like, hello, do you need your lights changed into LED?
Yeah.
No one's asking me to save on food waste.
No, I don't think the education is quite there yet. But like I said, from the solutions, like I've got later on, like touching on what the Australian government's doing about it. And it does look like it's in the works. It just, I think, is in progress. So I think people are a lot more keen on like, oh, it's free. You'll replace my globes for free and it's going to save me money. Of course, people are going to be like, yes, let's do it. But if they're like, you know, don't eat as much or don't waste your food, people are going to be like, don't tell me what to do. I'm going to buy whatever I want.
Yeah, but if someone called them up and listen, they would probably put the phone down because you sound like a sleazy marketing scam. But if someone called me and was like, you will save $2,000 every year from this one simple thing, and it's just don't buy all the food you're going to waste.
Yeah.
People be like, whoa, what is this?
Yeah.
It's blowing my mind.
Wait, what?
What pyramid scheme cult are we in? That was last week. What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's mad. It's so mad. And like the fact that, that reducing food waste, no one wants to waste food. Yeah, and that's the top way that we can also save the world that we live on. We should all be getting really excited trying to save food waste. Not waste our money on it either. It's money waste as well.
It's a win-win.
So I have like a whole other rant, but look, I'll go on that later. I'm feeling excited to get into some ways that we can be helpful.
Awesome.
Do you want to talk about the government thing? That sounds really cool.
I'll just touch on it. This is actually from the Australian government website. So they have actually set a goal to halve our food waste by 2030. And this aligns with the UN's Sustainable Development Goal 12.3. If you want to look that up, go ahead. But it's just a guideline. So how they're going to do this, though, they have listed that they're going to provide national guidance and plans for reducing food waste. They support and encourage state, territory and local governments to continue to work on their food waste programs and policies. And they also are conducting waste reporting. So they're going to consolidate all of the information on waste and recycling from all the states and territories. So, of course, we need the statistics there to be able to even
to judge
figure out what we are doing correctly. So all of these actions are actually laid out in what's called the National Food Waste Strategy.
So is that a big old document that you can actually anyone can read online?
There is a big PDF and I'll have all the links there as well in our show notes because it's very interesting to have a look through.
Yeah, fantastic.
But so in December 2020, the Minister for Environment established the Stop Food Waste Australia. This was to support the National Food Waste Strategy, and the government has a $4 million investment to establish that. And this is so many words, so I apologise if you guys are getting confused. I feel like my brain's getting confused. But the Stop Food Waste Australia implemented the Australian Food Pact. So what is that? It's a voluntary agreement that brings together organisations across the food supply chain, which focuses on food waste prevention, food reuse, donation, and food chain transformation. So some of these businesses that have actually signed up now, which are the inaugural ones, which are the first ones to do so, are Simplot, which is actually a big Australian company, Woolworths, Coles, is it Mondelez? Those guys.
Oh,
Mars,
yeah.
Compass Group.
Mondelez owns
by-
Cadbury's.
Yeah, there you go. I feel like they all own each other anyway. There's a few like big brands. So other businesses that can sign up are like primary producers, food manufacturers, food grocery retailers, food service, and businesses involved in food technology. So it's definitely a good thing. They're going to be helping people design and source more sustainable products, also helping them develop strategies to make things more efficient. And raising awareness and also supporting the donation of surplus food. So there's quite a few good organisations out there, like, for example, Food Bank.
Oz Harvest?
Yes, Oz Harvest. There's a few. And there's also a couple of independent people. Like, I found this really cool from the article that I was talking about. I've actually got it here. A good article to read on how some restaurants and suppliers are tackling the problem. So there's a woman called Natalie Saru, I'm probably going to pronounce that incorrectly, just launched Forkful, and it is an online marketplace that allows cafes and restaurants to alert customers to discounted surplus and unsold products that might otherwise be binned. So she says It's like Airbnb, but instead of looking for a place to stay, you're looking for something to eat in your local area. So you could have like a cafe that has some muffins maybe that haven't sold. They're listed on there. You go online and you browse in your area and you go, yes, I want those. You get a discounted price and there's no waste.
Brilliant.
So it's pretty cool.
That's in Australia?
That is in Australia. Yep.
Oh, fantastic. Forkful.
Forkful. 1L.
There's another one called Too Good To Go in the UK. Yeah, same premise. They have an app and everything, and a cafe at the end of the day is like, we've still got all of these croissants.
Yeah.
Now they're only £1, that sort of thing.
I know, like, I actually haven't seen it in Australia, but I've seen a lot of videos overseas that are fascinating of people dumpster diving. And I see a lot of them, like, doing it for products, like seasonal products, like candles and stuff like that, or like, if the packaging's damaged. But I've also seen people do them on food, and they're like, all of this food is just in the bin. It's perfectly fine. Like, give it a wash. It tastes great. It's fine. And I'm like, why the heck are businesses throwing out dumpster loads of food?
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's insane. I think I have heard of like one of my friends doing it here, but I don't think it's allowed.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is allowed at all. But I feel like, it's kind of like hard rubbish.
But also it's, you're not meant to go through hard rubbish.
If it's on the curb, then if I want it, it's mine. It's coming home with me and it's going to sit on my deck until I decide to do a project.
I'm going to shabby chic it. It'll look great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Oh, goodness me.
Oh, there are some great things in hard rubbish.
Yeah, definitely. I think
maybe
if someone
that's
else...
a reel we can make.
Oh, yes. I will happily go hard rubbish hunting. Well, I don't even care if it's 2 hours away. I will drive to their suburb and hard rubbish hunt.
Nice. It's like, what sort of hunting do vegans do?
Oh, I don't even, don't know. Count me in regardless.
Woo, no, just hard rubbish hunting.
Hard rubbish.
You said hunting, didn't you?
Hunting, yeah.
Hunting's normally for animals. I said, what hunting do vegans do?
That totally went over my head.
It's fine. I knew it was awful as I was saying it.
We hunt with our eyes to give love to new things.
That's right. You give them homes.
Horrible. That was really bad.
You see an unloved sofa sitting there in the rain, and you bring it home.
I've done that. Yes.
You know what? That was the saddest thing about how much rain we've had recently. I was thinking about all of those sofas.
Yes.
Out in the rain.
So true.
And now they're just not usable.
Yeah. My dad had this leather couch for years. It was like a slight kind of green, and it had started to rip, and it was like getting really sad. And he found one on sale, and he got a new couch. And for months we had double couches. Like, it was like a 3-seater couch, and then behind it a 3-seater couch.
Wow.
And finally he was like, all right, we'll get rid of it. We'll put it out on hard rubbish. And I was adamant that someone was going to pick it up. I said, put it out there. Someone will see it. Someone will take it. Like, it'll be great. Like, there's a couple of marks here, but it's, well worn, super comfy. So I was out there for a couple of days, and then I went to leave for work one time, and the hard rubbish truck was in front of me. And I just see, the jaws, like, it just I just see the truck closing and the couch is just sticking out and it just crunched and I actually let out like a and I was so sad. I was so emotional. I was like, I've just seen this couch get murdered. I said someone was going to pick it up. Oh my goodness.
You sent it to its doom.
I felt so bad. Like,
you poor
I
thing.
can laugh about it now, but at the time I was like mortified.
Yeah. No,
It was like it was reaching out to
about
me,
sofas.
being like, "You did this,
Michaela."
yeah."
Oh, I have. Yeah, I'll quickly say, like, for one, yes, I got really sentimental about like the sofa at my parents' house, and they just changed it one year. It was gone. We'd had the same sofa for so long,
Yeah.
and suddenly there was a different one. And yes, fine, it's a good sofa, whatever. I felt like they should have asked.
Yeah, I know. You definitely
like
get
they should have
attached to
asked.
things.
Yeah, but I have a friend who, she had a childhood sofa, same as me, and their family moved house, and I think they were downsizing, and so the sofa didn't move with them. And it went to this, like, I guess secondhand furniture shop / antique shop that was, like, next door opposite to the most grotty pub that we have in town. So not the nicest street, but it's where this furniture shop happens to be. And it was in that shop for ages. And then my friend's out drinking one night. She's in the grotty pub.
Her
And
couch?
she sits down. And she sits down on her couch.
Oh
and
my goodness.
She cannot go to that
Yeah.
pub because she knows that her sofa is in there. It's not being well treated. It'll have like beer all over it. It's going to be sticky. And she's like, I can't bear
That is so
to
funny.
just think of it that way.
Oh.
And I totally get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
It's crazy.
Our poor sofas. Sorry. Anyway, this is about food waste.
Is it? Is it really? I thought
I
it was
think
just
it
a
may be.
podcast where we talk about random crap. And
Oh, you're right. Sorry. Welcome to
Yeah.
the Random Crap podcast.
Yes. Lovely.
Guava is doing wonderful things right now.
Amazing.
Yeah. She's like formed 2 blobs. Oh, now she's 3.
Oh.
Get it, girl. Sorry. Hi, I'm back.
Yes. Okay. So I think we've covered a lot of statistics and why we need to talk about food waste. Do
Yes.
you have any solutions that we can do?
Well, Michaela, do I have some tips for you? Yes, I do.
Send them my way.
All right, so we're going to start at the start of our food journey, and that is before we've even bought food. Tip number 1, do not food shop hungry.
Oh,
Don't do
gosh.
it. Never do it. If you can avoid it,
I
avoid it at all
know.
costs.
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
I can agree that this is a very important tip.
I think this really hit home. If you learn one thing from this one, Michaela,
What?
it's not the food shop when you're hungry.
Yes.
Like, make sure you've had some good hearty food, and also that probably means you've looked in the fridge recently, because
Yes.
tip number 2, make a list.
Oh, yes.
Make a list, know what it is you want, because I work at like a sign making place. They actually made too much like whiteboard. They made an extra whiteboard basically. And so I took it home. We stuck it on the pantry door, and now that's where we write lists, and it's great. You can just write on it, rub it off. It's perfect. Have a whiteboard, have a chalkboard, piece of paper.
Even on your phone. Like
list.
I always make a list. I always shop strategically. Like I'll go
Good
down
on
the
you.
aisles. Jake does not have a list. And it makes me rage. Like the other day I had just started a list and I was getting ready, and then we were going down, we say down the line, but basically going to the burbs. And we were like, oh, we'll stop at the shops. And I was like, do you have a list? He's like, nah. I'm like, but we can't go without a list. So we're going around, and he picks up 2 heads of broccoli and puts it in the trolley. I'm like, we have 1 head of broccoli at home. He's like, oh, do we? And I'm like, yes, we do.
But we know, Jake,
You need
we
a
had
list.
a list.
You need a list. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Cannot
need a
shop
list.
without a list.
I'll make a list in my head, but if I have a real list, then I feel like it's the boss of me. It's got some sort of authority over my life and my decision making, and I will stay on track if it's not just a list in my head that's like, we're probably out of spinach, because yes, we are usually out of spinach, but one time I'll buy spinach and I'll buy
And you
all of
already have
it,
some.
and we'll already have a full container of spinach, and then we'll just go on like spinach overload for like a week, trying to get through the spinach so we don't waste it. So if I just had a list, Chloe, could have avoided all of that.
So what have we learnt today's podcast? Michaela, don't shop hungry. Chloe,
make a
have a
content list. Yes, and something that could help with this list, number 3, is to get some meal plans, write some meal plans. That will cut down on buying the food that you don't need. It will cut down on impulse buying. It means that you will have set meals, and there's actually some great things out there that can help. There's an amazing app that I might buy. It's like a monthly thing called Sorted Food. They run a really great YouTube channel. It's just these 4 blokes that live in London, I think. The meal plans, I think, also come with like, this is how much things cost. Ignore that because it'll be in pounds and pence and whatever. But it will give you a kit, so like a week's worth of meals and one shopping list for all of them. So it really cuts down on food waste, and it means they'll usually use that same lots of ingredients. Like say it's a punnet of cherry tomatoes, you'll use like half for one dish, half for another, so that there's no waste involved. And they'll, I think, highlight even when it's like, this is a zero waste product, you'll use everything. Yeah. The one negative for those like us trying to be more plant-based, there isn't like a huge demand on the app yet for vegans. So there's a few meal kits for vegans, but not everything. You can sub things in. I think there's going to be heaps more for vegetarians. But as vegan grows, I'm sure they'll introduce more meal kits, and you can get a free month as well. So I'm actually going to do that and check it out.
Yeah, see how it goes.
See how many kits there are.
Even with meal planning, like if you don't have something like that to give you the inspiration, I'm sure everyone has those few meals that they know that they always like. Yeah, and you know all the ingredients in that. So like that's an easy way to do it too. You're like, all right, I know this and this can go in this meal and we love it. And it makes this much.
True. I love things like this because I'm a sucker for like HelloFresh, Marley Spoon, all of them. And Marley Spoon I liked for a bit because you could get like decent deals on it, and there was an okay amount of vegan options, and that really helped me to know a few vegan options. Coming from eating a lot of meat, I suddenly I knew nothing. I couldn't think of a single meal that didn't contain meat or dairy, and so Marley Spoon helped me through that because I'm not an imaginative cook. The bad thing about Marley Spoon is that it includes like tiny sachets of things that you already have at home. It's like, I didn't need
trying
you
to be helpful,
that.
but like this is the pantry staple.
Yeah, and it'll give you a sachet of like 40 grams, and then you only use 10, and like, well, thank you. I don't even know what this is. I didn't have it before, and now it's just going to sit here and be wasted. So I really didn't like that, and that's why I do like the idea of this sorted food app.
Because you can do it on your own.
You can do it on your own. It gives you a list, and it also gives you like video instructions of how to cook.
Oh, cool.
So you can follow along, do it with you. It even comes with like a timer. So if it's like fry X for 8 minutes, it will start that 8-minute timer and then move to the next step, and you can pause it and all this stuff. Like
that is really cool.
It looks really good. And so enough raving about it. I'll try it out.
Not sponsored.
I'll let you know. Not sponsored, but they sound really good. And I'll shout out Veg Me Up, which if you're in Melbourne, get on this, because similar to Marley Spoon, it's that sort of meal service where they pick the ingredients for you, give you how to cook it. But Veg Me Up is Melbourne based. It's all like locally sourced food and it's all vegan.
Ooh, I actually think I have
support
heard of
a small
them.
business. Yes, they were at the vegan festival that we went to.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Awesome chap that runs it. And he's been vegan for, a long time and has been a chef for even longer.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yes, indeed. And everything looks really healthy too, which, you might not want that. I'm not always healthy.
Yeah.
But it's good to know that if you want to be healthy, all of the guesswork is taken out of it.
Yeah, that is good.
Yes. Oh, and unlike things like Marley Spoon, Veg Me Up really focuses on minimizing waste. There's like no plastic.
That's good.
You know what? That can be the next tip.
Oh.
When you're out grocery shopping, see if you can compare the different foods that are the same food but without plastic. The hierarchy in my head, like plastic is the lowest because like plastic, especially hard plastic, you don't know if you can recycle. At least I know in the UK now and in Australia you can soft plastic recycle. Here it's red cycle.
Yeah.
I was so stoked to go to the UK and see that soft plastic recycling was in like the Coles equivalents and stuff now.
The mainstream. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Sorry, I don't know about America. Hopefully you guys have it too.
Hopefully.
But hard plastic is a bit iffy, whereas glass, pretty infinitely recyclable. Aluminium, definitely like incredibly infinitely recycled. And I think aluminium takes the least energy to recycle. But don't trust me on that. You are free to do your own research. Okay, so you've got fresh produce. Fresh produce tends to go off fast. The best thing you can do to make sure that it stays fresh for longest is to consider how you store it. I'm not particularly well versed on this, but like root vegetables, like potatoes, they like to be stored in a cool, dry place.
Yes.
A lot of veggies.
I learned that by accident.
Oh no, what did you do?
I forgot about a bag of potatoes under the kitchen counter, like tucked away, in the open, like just around the other side.
Like
normally
full
I
sun?
put them a little bit of sun. Normally I put them in the bottom of the pantry in the cupboard, but there was heaps of shit in there and I just put it down and forgot about it. And yeah, they went real gross.
Great. Started a little family, did they?
Yeah, didn't eat them. They unfortunately had to go.
Oh,
sad
things.
But
yes,
lesson learnt. Store your potatoes correctly.
Absolutely. A lot of veggies like to stay hydrated. For example, if it's like bok choy, something's got a root, you submerge that root in water. Whereas things like carrots and I think cucumbers, you can put them fully in water and they just love it. They stay fresh for ages when you can do that.
Yeah. I've actually... Sorry, cut you off. Even seen, if you have like a sad bit of broccoli or like, carrots sometimes can go a bit like floppy if they're really old. Even submerge them in water in the fridge for like a couple hours and they spring back and then you can cook them and eat them that day.
Ooh, I'll have to try that. Have you tried that yet?
Pretty cool. Yeah. Broccoli and carrots have worked.
No way. Oh, that's so good.
Like magic.
It is magic. There's actually an amazing thing I found called the swag, which is basically a revolutionary way to store your fresh produce. And the swag is this 100% cotton canvas bag, I suppose. Cotton canvas? Is canvas cotton?
I believe so. Now I'm under
fabrics.
pressure and I'm like, wait,
Cool,
no, what?
good.
I don't know. Cotton canvas. Yeah.
I've never been asked this question before. Anyway, well, it's a cotton bag that has 3 layers to it, and each of the layers basically serves a different purpose. It's got an outer layer, which is meant to, protect, I suppose. It allows the produce to take in oxygen as needed because it's cotton. It's, of course, more breathable. There's a central layer, which is thicker, and that will hold the bulk of the water that's added. And there's an inner layer, which they call the balancing layer, which allows your produce to breathe and hydrate at its own pace. Which sounds just really cool considering I'm like, but it's just a cotton bag. But there's a whole science to it that I do not understand. But they look really good. They come in all these different sizes, so it's perfect for all the different sorts of fruit and veggies. And they actually say that it means that your fruit and veg will last like an extra 2 weeks when they're in these bags. And I've seen it with my own eyes. Looks brilliant. I'm excited to get my hands on these personally. I actually emailed them the other day because I knew that I wanted to mention them. And we have a 15% discount code to share with our followers here on Green Girls. So guys, until the end of November, if you want to try out the swag bags, which I will absolutely be doing soon, use code GreenGirls15 and you can get 15% off.
Amazing. So
How
it's
cool is
basically
that?
like a little envelope sort of made out of fabric that you put your veggies in that makes it last longer. Because I know a lot of my veggies go real sad. So I think I definitely need to get some of these.
They do. I have some very sad carrots right now. Yeah. They'd benefit from the swag.
Yeah.
Love that name as well. Have fun, guys. Let us know what veggies you get and if they last any longer. People, houseplants, veggies. We just need a bit of water. Stay hydrated, people. This is your reminder. My glass is empty, but...
Yes, mine is not in this room.
Be better than us. Good. Okay, if you find that some things look like they're about to go off, it's time to try and make a sauce from them before they go properly all the way off. And you don't need to use that sauce straight away. You can make it now and freeze it. There's a great tip that I saw from Kira, who runs the Green Hub. And she'll do this all the time if something's about to go off. And she'll even do it with leftover fresh herbs. And she'll chop up those herbs, mix them with some other things, blend them, and then stick them in like ice cube trays.
Ooh, yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and she calls them flavor bombs. And you can just pop out a few of these cubes and like you have a meal, basically. Add pasta or whatever you want to it. And you've already got a meal. It's like the easiest
That's
thing.
a great idea.
Ever.
Also, like stuff chopping up fresh food like every time when you can just pop out a flavor bomb. Like just do it in bulk at once and just be like, bam, bam.
Bomb. I know, it sounds so badass. Flavor bomb.
That's really smart.
So thank you for that one, Kira. Yes. Do you have any?
No, I mean, I've got a couple, like, eat your leftovers, or I think we've discussed this before, make a garbage bowl. You know, how
Ooh.
you've got all those random bits and bobs, like, put it all together. Sometimes you can come up with some really interesting things. Sometimes maybe it's not your best meal, but it's still fulfilling. But it's fun. It tests your creativity, and you get to make sure that you use all the food.
Yeah.
So I've seen a few of them. I'm pretty sure like Jenna Marbles used to do something like that. And of course, Christine, Simply Neological, also talks about garbage bowls. She has them all the time. So,
oh, no way. Yeah, me and
Yes.
Tarek, I think Tarek's mum called them like bitsa or bitsum, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So like a little bit of everything.
Bits of this. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
and
so
sometimes
cute.
we'll have that. We're like, you know what, we've got like a quarter of this, a quarter of that, half of this.
Yeah, put it all together.
And I'm like, screw it, that makes up a meal.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to make sense. Yeah.
No, it's all right.
Yeah,
Food
we've
is good.
absolutely done that. And as a challenge, we will, I think I've said several times before now, we'll have like a pantry clear out.
Yeah,
So we're like,
yeah.
okay, except for spinach, kale, whatever, we are not buying anything new, anything fresh. We're going through this pantry. We're eating everything.
Yeah.
That was especially true when we had mice
Oh,
because nothing was
yes.
safe. It had to
Nope.
go in a container or be eaten straight away, or the mouse got it.
Got
it was
it.
us or the mouse. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, this mouse
Just trying to
chewed
keep
through
you-
the oat milk.
Ah.
Yeah,
That
and
is-
flooded the pantry.
No, what a dick.
I know, and we're here like, oh, we don't want to hurt the mouse, but we really need the mouse to leave.
Oh, no.
So we moved the milk, moral of the story.
Yeah. Moved
Yeah.
the food away and the mouse disappeared.
I know, Tupperware, best friend.
Yes, definitely. I do have one more, which I think, I hope people know, but I think a lot of people might not be sure, is knowing the difference between best before and use by. So best before dates, they give you an idea of how long food will last before they lose quality. So most products last beyond their best before date if they're stored properly, so you can still eat it. Foods, however, that are marked with a use by date must be consumed before or on that date because they can become unsafe. So if you have something that has best before and it's today, you can still probably eat it tomorrow and the next day. Obviously, use your judgment. I think a lot of things that do have the best before won't cause you many problems. It's more so the, cheeses and milks and things that have the use bys.
Yes. Not to scare you. Well,
Yes.
won't even
Hit me.
scare you. Might
Scare
anger
me.
you. This is very much a
Oh, no.
rageful episode. Yeah. So America and Australia are pretty much the same on this as well, twinsies, where there's no like regulation to do with it. It's not like a board of people in an office or like scientists that are like, it goes off after this many days. Like milk, say, after pasteurization is something like 21 days is when it technically should no longer be consumed, something like that. But it's the food manufacturer that actually chooses the real date that goes on it. And there was, I've forgotten where it was in America, but the example was like they put it as 11 or 12 days as the best before, when it could be 21.
Why?
And I'm sure that makes so many people, would have been me included, like, well, I'm like, because milk, when it goes off, right, it smells rank. And I don't even want to have that option. And so I won't sniff it. I'm like, okay, that's just going straight in the bin. It says 12 days. It's been 12 days. It's going in the bin. I know I would have absolutely been that person and would have bought so much milk and wasted so much milk.
Yeah. If they do it as like a marketing tactic, because then you have to consume it within those 11, 12 days. And then you're like, oh, well, I need it again. So then you're buying it twice when you could have only bought it once.
Yeah. I really wouldn't put it past them. And I also, I heard that it can also be, they, like the idea that they want you to have the food, consume the food when it's its best, like they don't want it to go a bit saggy or like look a bit weird. And so that those like amount of days can literally be, it starts to not look its best after this time. And they're like, you shouldn't buy it. It's gone. Don't even think about it.
I actually have one more, and I can't remember where I read it, but I do it all the time now. And there was some statistic about bananas. In the supermarket, single bananas apparently are a big waste because nobody buys them. You always pick up a bunch. So now I always go around and pick up the single bananas. I buy all the single bananas.
That's
So
so
they
lovely.
get to come home with me and have friends, and they also don't get wasted.
That's so cute. Okay,
Yeah.
challenge, guys. Buy the single bananas
Buy the
and
single
tag
bananas.
us. Tag
Seriously,
at Green Girls Podcast on Instagram. You
Send-
and your single
well,
bananas.
I was just about to say, send me your banana photos, but please don't.
Don't interpret that any weird way.
Only send me the fruit photos, please.
Absolutely. Yeah. Peels on.
Oh, peels on. We don't want any unpeeled bananas. What happened to us? Where did this episode go? Just
No,
downhill.
sorry. On a very unrelated note, though, I find it really cute that all these supermarkets offer kids-free fruit.
Yes.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, it is very, very nice.
Yeah, I hope that saves on waste a little bit too.
Yeah, hopefully. I also feel like kids kind of would like to buy like the odd bunch, like the funky looking stuff.
Well, they
They're
put
like,
like
"Ooh."
almost like cartoon carrots
Yeah,
and
they
whatnot
do.
on them.
Why does that appeal to me? I'm not a child, just on the inside.
We don't grow up really.
No.
Well, my last real tip is about compost options, and I'd love an expert to get on board and do something heaps more in depth about this, because compost is huge. I feel like I know the very, very little about it. But the biggest tip for right now, for all you beginners out there like me, make it easy for yourself, make it suit your home. If you have a garden, you can DIY or buy a compost bin. You can get a big one, you can get a worm farm. Or if you've got a flat or somewhere that's got no outside space, you can get smaller compost bins that go inside, or bokashi bins, which are, I guess, like smart bins. They come with like a spray and they break down your compost really fast. And the great thing, before I move on to that bit, so something you can really DIY is you can get like a big ice cream tub. And yes, I am giving you full permission to go out there and buy the biggest ice cream tub you can. When you're done with it, you can clean and then fill that tub with your scraps and put it in the freezer. The fact that you freeze your scraps means that none of the smell is getting released and it's staying frozen fresh. So with this next part, you can dispose of it responsibly. There is a great app called Share Waste, and that basically connects you with people that have compost and connects them with people who don't have compost but want to give compost. And it even maps out, there's like a cute little map I checked out. It even exists in my area and I was so shocked. So it maps out like where the people are that have compost piles. It tells you what they accept, like cardboard, food scraps, and it tells you if they have chickens, which I think is really cute.
Cute. That's so cute.
Yeah, because I think chickens and compost just goes together.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Chickens
if I
love
can,
compost.
I will absolutely be using this app as a way to find a contact to get like local chicken eggs in the future.
You have a ulterior motive. Let me befriend your chickens.
A little bit. I just want to hug one. That's all I want. It's it's nothing weird. Not like Michaela and her bananas.
Oh,
It's just-
I mean, I feel personally attacked, but okay.
Sorry, yeah, I did. Jab.
It started off innocent, I promise.
It's all.
I just had to say
something.
something before someone else was like, excuse me. Or I
Excuse
just
me,
got
like-
a very
Unsolicited.
spicy banana photo.
No spicy bananas, please.
No.
No, not even one. Not even once. Yeah, so I'm going to close off with a nice tangent.
Yes, please do.
God, I was thinking today about this because like I'm writing my notes and I'm like, I could absolutely be that turtle from Kung Fu Panda.
I must say that's the one movie I didn't really enjoy. I think I've probably only seen it once, so I wouldn't know the reference, but continue.
Listen, Master Oogway, or whatever his name is, he just walks around being this old wise turtle and says these like just quotes about life that may or may not apply. They're usually like vague enough that you can just apply them to anything. And not from Kung Fu Panda, sorry, but from Tomorrowland, another Disney film, is when I first heard this quote. I'm assuming you don't know Tomorrowland. It's really like, it didn't do well.
I
It got like a
50%
on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh.
I really enjoyed it, but it's one of those films that like Disney made a park and then made a film about the park.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah. So there's a part of Disney World or Disneyland somewhere called Tomorrowland, and I think it's all like high tech and meant to be, this is the future. And then they just like made a film.
Right.
But the film itself is decent. But this quote, it's actually like a Cherokee story, like an old Cherokee story. But I found out about it through Disney film. Sorry. And it, like, the Cherokee quote itself is longer. It's more in depth. But the one from Tomorrowland says, "There are two wolves who are always fighting. One is darkness and despair. The other is light and hope. The question is, which wolf wins? And the answer is the one you feed."
Oh.
And that basically like has a lot to do with the movie, and I won't spoil it, but also it came out in 2015. So if I do, I'm not like, sorry, you had time.
You're not a horrible person.
No, right. I'm not. Oh my God, to be a horrible. Okay, tangent away from this one.
Yeah.
My childhood boyfriend, like we were together when we were 15, and the last Harry Potter book came out when we were like 12 or something like that. Or sorry, the one where Dumbledore dies came out like 5 years before I'd even met him.
What if people haven't read Harry Potter?
I'm sorry, they had time. Listen. And then the night, like, so in the UK, I don't know if it was as big around the world, but in the UK, they would have midnight book launches on the night of the books coming out. And I can't remember which book it is. I guess the second to last one where Dumbledore dies. And literally, like, books went on sale that midnight. By the next day, like 8 a.m. on London Bridge, someone had put up a huge banner saying Dumbledore dies. And
that
so
is brutal.
It ruined it for so many people. And 5 years later, my boyfriend still doesn't know. And I ruined it for him. He was like, Dumbledore dies? I'm like, yes, how did you not know? You lived in London then.
Yeah.
How did you not see it? But bless him, he's one of the smartest people I know. Heart of gold, but some things just slipping by. I also convinced him. I convinced him that the reason you don't see baby pigeons is because they grow inside the mum, and when they're ready, they don't hatch. The mum just like pops, and then fully grown pigeon.
Is that
It's
actually
just there.
what you told him?
Yeah, me and my mum, we said this real casually walking down the street. And I was like, yeah, that's why, like, you see, like, the flat pigeon. It's not because it's been run over. No, that's just, like, the popped mum. He was like, really? Wow, I didn't know that. Oh, that's really weird.
Imagine how many
we just looked
times
at
he's
him
told
like-
this story and people have been like,
No, we were immediately like, what the fuck? Of course that's not true. He was
okay.
Just there in hysterics.
But actually, though, why are there no baby pigeons?
Oh, they just stay in the, like, nest in the wall and you don't see them. You can sometimes, but they're out the way.
You just, like, blew my mind. I was like, baby pigeons? Holy
Like,
shit.
You're right. I never have seen a baby pigeon.
Oh, my goodness.
It's fantastic. Sorry about that. Shout out to you, ex-boyfriend. He's a physicist now.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, he believed that pigeon mums just popped.
Times have changed.
Yes.
Anywho, sorry, yes. Tomorrowland came out in 2015. You've all had time to see it. And like I'm not spoiling everything. George Clooney's in it. And he's like some scientist, I don't know. I can't remember the gist of the film. All I remember is like there's something that exists, this like can predict the future, basically. I think I've written down what they call it. Did I? Terrible me. There we go. Probability counter. Wow, imaginative name. And the probability counter says, yep, the world's going to end. We don't solve global warming. Sorry. And everyone's just like, well, okay, now we know. And they get on with it. They don't make any changes. They're like, we'll just be our, regular bad selves because anything we do won't make a difference. But our protagonist, of course, she doesn't give up. She's like, no, I think we do have a chance. We can do it. Screw the probability counter. And when she says that, when she believes, you see the little burp, like the probability counter changes. And, the moral of the story is if you hope, if you have hope and you make those changes, then it can make a difference. If you just sit and wallow and like be like one of the people I've worked with in the past, like, oh yeah, but like one person changing is not going to do anything. Yeah. Then yeah, of course we're screwed. If everyone thinks the way that one person does, we're screwed. But with food waste, this is something that we can all do our part on. And even 50% reduction, 88 gigatons.
Yeah. What
88
on earth?
gigatons of CO2 reduced. The most good we can do, and it's from us.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's right.
That
Feed the wolf inside you. The light and hope.
Very impressed that you managed to like just connect all of that. When you
Thank
first
you.
started talking about it, I was like, interesting. Yep, I love a good tangent. Yep. And then you're just like straight back into it. I
That's
love
right.
it.
Kung Fu Panda Turtle.
Yeah,
Boom.
that's why you're a podcast host.
Oh, thanks. You too.
Beautiful.
I just love that you support me on my tangents. I'm like, wow,
yeah.
she came around. Thank you for listening, everyone. And I'd really love if you've got some tips that you didn't hear today, let us know on Instagram. We'll do a post along with this, and we'd love if the comment section can just be really, really helpful. People can go there and source some more tips. Get in the conversation. We love ya.
Yes. We hope you enjoyed today's show, and we would love it if you guys could leave us a review on wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can follow the podcast on Instagram at greengirls.podcast, and you can follow Chloe on Instagram at BeKindCoco. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, that's at Michaela Hoffman or at RetroKittyVintage. And yes, still not there yet, but it's coming.
Pending.
If you would like to email us for any reason or even to become a sponsor, you can do this via greengirlspodcast@gmail.com. We do also have a Patreon page. It is very new, but you can look up Green Girls Podcast there and find us.
Yes. Yeah.
But that is all for today. Look out for new episodes every other Wednesday, because on Wednesdays we podcast. We hope you enjoyed listening to our ramblings, always. And until next time, it doesn't matter if you take it slow. It matters that you take a step. Yay. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Ew.